bruh, ever since then, every single time, if I look at like the 4 or 5 quantum leaps I've taken in life, every single time, man, I was doing all the work. I'm doing all the, exposure. I'm doing all these things. Life happens instantly the moment I start walking. I'll tell you what I mean. Hey, these brothers. Man, I just saw a comment on a video I made a few days ago, and I see people responding to this every time I say this, man. And I know I don't normally make content outside, man, but so I hope y'all can hear me. Getting ready to go and coming out of MBK, getting ready to go into one of my favorite places in Bangkok, which is the Cultural Center. I love going to here, man. They change it up like once every 2.5, 3 months. So every 3 months, man, or so I'll come back and check it out, man. I just love to see how, I just love to see how people express themselves, man. I don't know why. Whether it's art, whether it's paint, whether it's, whatever it is, man. But I noticed this, like every time I say this on a YouTube video, somebody in the comment section will say something about it. And it's when I say the objective of life is to bring your heaven upon your earth. Like for some reason, like I say a lot of, I say a lot of wild stuff. I say some stuff that I know that kind of goes against the grain when it comes to Christ and all this kind of stuff. But when I say something about bringing your heaven upon your earth, for some reason that offends people, man. And it's like, first off, let me say this: like you have to understand. Like surely goodness and mercy, man. I love this place. Like surely you don't think that like life is all about living and then dying and then we're going to some places where the streets of gold and all that kind of stuff is going to be taking place, right? Like surely you don't believe in that. I think I got to be quiet here. And I can tell that when I say that, I love this, man. I ain't never seen these photographs, man. Yeah, so bad. Now I can spend the rest of my life in museums. Like, do y'all understand what I'm saying when I say that? When I say that you're supposed to bring your heaven upon your earth, And first off, you have to understand this. Like that's the objective of life, to bring your heaven upon your earth. But you have to understand this. Man, I love these, man. You have to understand this. Every single person is already bringing their heaven upon the earth. Every single person is already bringing their heaven upon the earth. So the objective is to bring your desired heaven upon your earth. Like surely you don't think we're supposed to live our lives and then at some point tap out. I gotta go back in there. I'm gonna check that out when I get to those videos so I can really absorb the art. But surely goodness and mercy, you don't think we're supposed to just live this whole life and die and go to some paradise. Like when you die, like, and I said this a million years ago in the recipe, when you die, it's not what people think. When you die, like you're actually waking up. Like it's like we're in an extended dream right now. So when you die, we'll be back home. Just like when you wake up in the morning, when your alarm clock goes off, when you die, that's what that's going to be like. There are no streets of gold. You know what I'm saying? So when it's talking about like even when the Bible talks about heaven on earth, it's talking about bringing the desire. It's talking about bringing what's in your mind to reality. Like the objective is to bring your reality or bring what's in your mind into reality. And people can talk about the manifestation process but every single person is already living their heaven. It's just that most people aren't living their desired heaven. That's why I'm always saying, man. I always say, well, here lately, over the last 6 months, I'll say, you know what? If you look at your life and it's not, if you look at your life and it's not doing. I said, if you look at your life and it's not doing exactly what you want it to do, like if your life isn't like when you wake up every day, if from sun up to sundown isn't what you desire, you moving wrong, bro. You moving wrong. And I'm not talking about during your level up season. I'm not talking about just before your quantum leap. I'm saying when everything smooths out and life is good, if you wake up in the morning and you're miserable, like you're saying, hey, you know what? I would much rather be doing XYZ. I would much rather be working for this company. I would much rather be in a relationship that moves like this. I would much rather be retired at 40. I would much rather be at a museum, at a cultural center in Bangkok. You know what I'm saying? If you wake up every single day and your life is not doing what it's supposed to do, then you're not living your desired heaven. Oh, you're living your heaven. Like every single person is bringing the things out of their mind into fruition. It's just a matter of learning how to bring what you want out, man. So when y'all hear me say that, man, don't get offended. Understand what I'm saying. Like everybody's doing it. You just gotta, you just have to bring out what you desire, bro. Which comes to my next question, man. Me and my brothers, my power of three. Me, my brother Chris Cadet down in Florida, and my brother EJ, who's up here in Bangkok. We meet every week, man, and have some deep discussions. And typically every week one of us will, ask some question. After we give our spiel and talk about our goals and level up and how we're moving and all that stuff, one of us will pose a question. And this week the question was, first we asked each other, like, do you believe that us as mankind, do you believe that us brothers can do whatever we want to do, can accomplish whatever we want to accomplish, can do anything if we put our minds to it? And of course, us three brothers, we square. We all say, yeah, we can move how we want to move. And then it was like, well, what is it that y'all think that keeps mankind from evolving? What is it that keeps a man living his life every day and not realizing and not bringing into fruition his desired heaven? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a real question. That's a real question. If man goes to church and Juma and all these places for 30,000 years and is saying that God is what God is and standing on business and then saying that, hey, you know what? I'm made in the image of God. If that be true, then what's keeping a man from bringing his heaven upon earth, bringing his highest desire into fruition? What's keeping him from doing that? I can't take my bag and camera up to the next level. The next level is where the bigger events typically are. Yeah, I don't think I can take it up there. But yeah, that's a real question, man. And that's a question I'm asking everybody. Let me find somewhere to sit down, man, so I can chop. Y'all give me 1 second. All right, brothers. I can't remember what I was talking about before I stopped, man. I had to enjoy myself in the museum at the cultural center. So I can't remember what I was saying, but let me just get to the meat and potatoes of where our conversation went, man. We were talking about bringing, how to bring our reality, or how to bring, our heavens upon earth, how to bring our thoughts into fruition. And Chris brought up this powerful quote by Nikola Tesla, and I never heard it, man. And it's this. It says, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. I'm reading one more time, man. Nikola Tesla. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Shout out to Brother Chris for that, man. And this is where the conversation went, man. I was sharing with them brothers. I said, you know what, man? If I can think of one thing that's by far the most powerful thing I've ever done, or things that I do that brings my reality into fruition. Like if I had to narrow everything down, whether it's my meditation, whether it's my whatever, the most powerful, I'll say this, when I start doing this, the world shifts, right? The most powerful thing you can do is walk. So what are you talking about, man? What in the cornbread hell are you talking about? You got me watching this YouTube video and you saying the most powerful thing I can do is walk? I'm gonna tell you when I understood it. And I've shared this with y'all a time or two. This is when I really understood how powerful that was. I hadn't put it into place yet, but I started to understand it. Back in 2009, right when I hit the bottom, I talk about 2009 all the time. Before the bottom came, and I found myself in a state of being unemployed, and I was at the unemployment office, I noticed something about humanity that I had never noticed in my life. I noticed that you could look at people and see how they were moving. You could see what they were producing. I never noticed that before, because if you ever go to an unemployment office, you can just walk around. You can tell, I don't care what they're wearing, you can tell who's there looking for a job, and you can tell who's there employed. Regardless of what they're dressed like, regardless if they're behind a counter or not, you can see the people's energy, mainly the unemployed people's energy. You can see defeat on people. You can see lack in just people being upset and just mad at life. You can see that. And when I understood that I could see that, I still didn't know what to do with it. I just knew it was a powerful thing. And I recognized that I was walking in a certain energy. I said, you know what, man, if I can see all these people, then surely I'm walking in an energy too. And I felt the energy I was walking in. And the energy I was walking in had explained everything that was taking place in my life. The way my job was going, the divorce papers I just signed, like my walk was saying that. You know what I'm saying? So over time, understanding that, I just understood that, hey, you know what? Whatever is coming off of a person when they're walking, like that's what they're actually putting out. And I'm gonna tell you this. I put this on everything. Every single time since 2019, I said 2009 a second ago. It was 2009. Yeah, ever since then, every single time, if I look at like the 4 or 5 quantum leaps I've taken in life, every single time, man, I was doing all the work. I'm doing all the, exposure. I'm doing all these things. Life happens instantly the moment I start walking. I'll tell you what I mean. The moment I start walking, kind of going back to, and I've shared this with y'all in pieces over time, but kind of going back to like when I was trying to, and I know y'all remember this, when I was trying to get that job at Cummins, right? And I was like, man, I'd applied for the job, and I was like, bro, I'm not even really remotely qualified for this job. Like if I'm qualified for it, I gotta be at the bottom 100. Like I gotta be barely skimming the. But what I did was, man, I went to Cummins parking lot when they were closed. Man, I kind of just got the feeling of what it felt like there. Every place has a vibration. This place has a vibration. I'm looking through the windows, man. I'm looking at the furniture, man. I'm looking at the logo outside. I'm seeing everything, man, and I embraced it. And then when I went home, man, I would just walk around the block, and my energy was, I am already that. I already work there. You gotta understand this. And I'm talking about 2 different time frames now. No, I'm not. It's 2 different time frames. You gotta understand this, man. For example, this is the example I always use. This is the easy example to absorb. Like I'm always saying, like if you're walking through the mall and you're walking through the Hermes, you walking through the, the Gucci, the Louis, like you can tell the people who can walk up in there and buy those things. You can just look, it's on their face, it's on their walk, it's on their demeanor, it's on their aura. You know what I'm saying? So I tell a lot of people, when you walk through these stores, man, when you walk through a mirror and you feeling kind of low, I said, imagine you got 20 bands in your pocket. and walk. You know what I'm saying? Or imagine you going from unemployed to employed. Like your chest comes out. Imagine you going from 50,000 and just imagine your boss or your manager coming to you tomorrow saying, you know what, you're going to be making six figures tomorrow. Like we're taking you from 50 to $125,000, starting tomorrow. Brother, you're gonna walk out of that office a different being. You're going to walk out of that office a completely different being. So the thing is, to bring that world into fruition, like if you trying to make six figures, then you gotta walk like a six-figure nigga. You know what I'm saying? You gotta walk like that. Like the most powerful thing you can do is walk. And this is what I started doing years ago. Like let's say if I'm at work, even when I was working in the office before I was working at home. Let's say if I was working in the office, man, and it's like, man, I'm tired of this job. I'm trying to level up. Every once in a while, man, I would get up out my cubicle, man, and kind of just walk to the bathroom. And my walk was that of somebody else. Like I walked like I literally didn't belong. And in a short amount of time, that world will come to see me. I share these stories with you all the time. Back when I was working on a drilling rig, but when you want to talk about miserable, it's like, man, it would be raining sideways. It could be snowing upside down. It could be negative, whatever degrees. That drilling rig is going to pump. Like, you name the worst conditions. If you're on a drilling rig, an oil field, oh, brother, you're going to be on the ground at all times. And I was out there, man. I was an older man working with a lot of younger guys. And I said to myself, man, bro, I gotta get out of this. And I would see them cats coming out the location. Clean jeans, button downs, nice hard hat, white hard hat. And I observed it for about 2 or 3 weeks, man. Absorb that energy. I was like, okay, I see how these guys are. I see how they getting down. I see how they moving. I see their demeanor. I see their energy. I see how they're walking completely different than everybody else out here. I'm gonna tell you this. I went home on my days off, back to Texas. I was working in Louisiana. I went home on my days off and I meditated. I meditated all week, had a week off. I meditated all week and I was reading Wallace Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich. I remember that. I just bought that. I'm reading that book and I'm meditating for a week. Brother, when I came back to location, when I came back to the oil field, back to the to work, I was somebody else. I was dirty like everybody else. Coveralls were oily and dirty and grimy. It's still snowing sideways. But when I walked across location, you would think my name was on the sign out front. You would have thought I owned that place. I matched that frequency. So regardless of what I was seeing, regardless of what I was seeing around me, I was walking in that I am, bro. I'm gonna tell you this, man. I want to say anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks, I was sitting in front of the area manager. His name is, what was Daryl's last name? I can't think of Daryl's last name. Sitting in front of the area manager, getting ready to accept the district manager job. That, to be honest, I didn't even qualify. I got hired with that company. I didn't know what we did, man, for about 2 or 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there running the show, and guys are sitting there getting work done. I'm just kind of managing it. And at some point, I was like, what the hell do we do? Real talk, man. I didn't even know what we did, and I didn't know who to ask. I was in a saltwater disposal. Anybody that's in the oil field, I was in saltwater disposal. And I understood that we were taking trucks and going out to location and draining oil tanks, but I didn't understand why we were doing it or how we made profit for about a month. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how powerful what I'm talking about is, man. It'll put you in any room you want to. Even when I got the job at Cummins some years later, but I was working at Cummins for about probably 5 or 6 months before I even understood what was going on. I was about 2 or 3 months deep, man, and my manager called me one day, Jack Wiley. Y'all heard me talk about Jack Wiley sometime. He called me one day, man, it's the coolest guy on the planet. He said, hey, what's going on, man? And I was like, man, yeah, life is good. Like, yeah. Like, I don't know, I don't know what to do. I don't know who to call. I don't know nothing, man. I'm just here. What I'm talking about, bro, will put you in rooms that by the standards of this world, you won't even be in. You're not even supposed to be in. The way you walk, man, like right now, I can look around I can look at everybody now. I can see a woman walk by, I can see a older man walk by, I can see a child walk by, and I can see what they're creating. I can see what they're creating. So all I'm saying is, man, like when you identify what it is, I'm always saying, who are you? Where are you going? What is your truth? Who are you? Where are you going? What is your truth? Once you lock that in, there's an identity that's associated with that. You know what I'm saying? Once you lock it in, like that has to be the way you move. That has to be the way you walk. And like even when I was working my last job, and I was working at home then, and I'll be sitting on the computer, lots of time on the computer. This is what I would do. Cause I could work at anything. I'd be working. I have my hoodie on, my shorts on. I would have my alarm go off every 2 hours, right? And I'm sitting there working, emails and conference calls and all that. 2 hours go off, that alarm go off on my phone. I'm shutting down. I'm walking out the front door, and I'm taking a block around the house. I'm taking a block around the neighborhood, man. And as I'm walking as that entrepreneur. I'm walking at making that six figures and doing XYZ on my own, generating my own income. I'm walking in that just to remind myself. You know what I'm saying? And it's like this. This is what I was telling my brothers the other day, man, when we had this conversation. I said, you know what? I said, when I do this, and when I say this, man, like I've done this in so many, like I don't know how else to operate minus this. Even when I, and I've told y'all this many times. I've shared different stories. Like when I was in Frisco, when I went from that 1-bedroom apartment to moving into that $700,000 house. You know what I'm saying? The thing I did was I would go around the corner, get in that neighborhood, walk around that neighborhood, and absorb it. Same thing I wrote about in A Singular Truth. Same type of example. I would walk around, man. I would listen to people talking. I would smell the grass being cut. I was looking at the demeanor of everybody in their yard. You know what I'm saying? I'm just capturing it. And what I did was I was walking around that neighborhood in that energy. But what I did was I would go back to that apartment and walk around that apartment complex like I was in that neighborhood and I owned a house over there. I did that for about a month or two, man. And anybody that was in on my Patreon back then, I showed it. This is what I did on my Patreon. And those videos might still be over there. When I was living in that apartment, I shared on Patreon. I was sharing this process. I said, let me tell y'all how life works. And I wasn't discussing necessarily about the walk. I was talking more about exposure. I'm sitting there in this apartment. I said, hey, you know what? In the next year, I'm going to be in this type house. And I was going to open houses, right? Got my cell phone out, and I'm in open houses, and I'm showing people. I can't remember what that house was I walked in, but I said, man, I'm going to be in a house like this at some point in time. I said, I'm going to have a movie theater in my house. Guys, I know some of the stuff that I say may sound far-fetched, but if there's anything I want you to hear me say, man, it's that anything that you can see, anything that you can believe, it can come to pass, man. I'm sitting here in a house, I guess it's it's just up under 4,000 square foot. A few bedrooms, nice size living room, movie theater in it. And I can't afford this home right now. If I was going to try to get this home today, I'm guaranteed it would get shut down. But what I know, guys, I know how the world works. And when I tell you guys to get out and experience stuff, I literally mean get out and experience it. Because over the last handful of years, this is the way I've lived, man. I remember when I had this place downtown, a place that at the time that I saw it, I said, man, there's no way in the world
I'll never be able to live in a place like this. And with only a couple of $100 in my pocket, in my bank account, I drove to Dallas, set up an appointment to go see the place, walked through it, made videos just like I'm doing right now, took pictures, went home and meditated on it. And in about 30 to 40 days after that, guys, I was signing a lease in that place. So the movie theater is lit. And guys, that's happened to me several times, getting jobs, getting anything. And the reason I'm making this video strictly for you guys is because the fact that you guys, believe in me enough, man, to be, support me like you do, man, with the big donation. I want to give you guys extra. I want to give you guys firsthand what I do. This is what I do. I come in here, I look at it, and if I can grab it with my eyes and my attention, I can obtain it.
I'm going to have 25, plus foot ceilings. I'm going to have an office in my house. I'm going to have 3 or 4 bedrooms. I'm going to have a big kitchen. I'm going to have all this. And I want to say, 4 or 5 months later, when I'm moving in that house, I'm back on camera. I said, didn't I tell you how this works?
Guys, when I say the good Lord is good, I mean it. So, guys be hitting me up, man, sometimes say, hey, man, why you don't never want to hang with the boys, man. You don't want to come drink with us. You said I got the gas joints. Ain't cooked on gas in a long time. Got the stack right there. And I just be telling them brothers, man, like, we cool, man. We've been cool since day one. And it ain't that I don't want to hang with the boys. It's just that I don't want the same thing that the boys want. You know what I'm saying? I don't have time to be wasted on nonsense. I'd much rather be doing something that's going to benefit me, something that's going to get me somewhere, something that's going to assist me in obtaining something that I've been wanting. You know what I mean? You guys know I had to get the joint with the movie theater room. I'm feeling this joint. Still trying to figure out how I'm going to put it all together. But it was a must-have. Overlooking the living room and kitchen. God is good, brothers. It is His intention to give us all the things we want, guys. We just have to know how to ask for it.
And when I was making the first video, I was like, you know what? I don't really know how I'm going to do that. I said, because right here, I don't understand how I'm going to get to that position. Like, I don't see a way. But I do understand how this world works. I do understand that this world is responding to me 24 hours a day. So if I can go and feel what it's like to be exposed to that house, and I can walk in that energy as if it's already mine, I said, there's nothing that can stop me. And I said, I Babe Ruthed it, man. I Babe Ruthed it. I said, you know what? This probably gonna be, a year or 2, 3 years. I don't know, but it's coming my way. 4 or 5 months later, but I was hanging pictures on the wall. Same thing happened to me, man, back in 2004, back when I was married. I share these things with y'all all the time, bro. When I was married, man, I was a young buck, 20 something years old, man, and me and my wife were like, hey, like these houses, like, man, we couldn't even imagine. The house we moved in, I said, man, we can't even imagine living in a house like this. We did the same thing. We drive into these neighborhoods, man, cutting the music off, letting the window down. And I would do that same thing. Every day I got off work. Before I went home, I'm letting my window down, driving through these neighborhoods, feeling that frequency. And bro, in my mind, I'm saying in 3 to 4 years, maybe 5 years, we getting one of those. 3 or 4 years, we getting one of those. Bro, in 3 or 4 months, maybe 6 at the most. But I don't think it was that long. I think it was a matter of, I think it was like 2 months, 3 max. we were moving in one. And I told y'all what happened. Like, what I would do is, like, this was before, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm old. Like, the internet was around, but the internet was only like 5 or 6 years old. Like, this was 2004. So, you know, the internet was still kind of green, man. So it really wasn't, a lot of people wasn't on the internet like now, you know. So you know how you get online now and in Zillow and all that, and you look for houses on these kind of sites? That wasn't a thing back then. Like, to see houses, you had to go to the real estate office and either go inside and get a book, or sometimes they had them outside. So what I would do is wait until Sundays when everybody was closed, and I would go into the parking lot and get the book out, right? And during the week, man, I'm looking at the book, looking at the houses, getting that frequency. Anyway, I did that, man, probably a month or two every single week. I'm absorbing it, driving by them every day I get off work. Anyway, about a month or two deep, man, I'm going up there on a Sunday, parking lot empty, lights out. I'm like, you know, I pull up there, man, and I get to the door and I pull the book out. And I'm getting ready to walk to my car, and the book, the container is right by the door. I get the book out, man, and the door swings open. I'm like, bro, what is he doing here? And the guy was sitting there and said, hey, man, what's going on, man? You looking for a house out there? Oh, no, I'm just checking this out. No, man, come on in. Let's see if we, on a Sunday, they're closed. Come on in. Let's see if we can, let's see if we can do this for you. I said, man, like, and I'm telling him, like, hey, you know, it's going to be a couple of years, man. My credit, I don't know how to buy a house, down payment. I don't know none of this stuff. Man, we went in that office. I went in that office 5 minutes. Hey, he said, man, just give me your general information. What do you work? What do you do? What does your wife do? What does she do? He said, boom, boom, boom. We can get you approved for X amount of dollars. And I'm like, there's no way in the world. Like, there's no way in the world you telling me I can be in a house like this, what I'm looking at. So I'm saying, man, just strictly based on the energy you walk in, man. Like, that's the key to quantum leaping, bro. The energy you walk in. I'm gonna read that quote again, my brother Chris shared with us, man. It says, Nikola Tesla. It says, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So I say, man, it goes far beyond degrees and credit scores and skin colors and all these other things that people want to make a limit or a cap. It goes beyond all that, man. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, in other words, if you want to understand the nuts and bolts of how this world works, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. I'm gonna tell you this, man, there's nothing that can trump that, bro. Like, there's nothing that can top that. But the thing is, it's just a matter of you mastering that emotional state. Neville Goddard said the same thing. Neville Goddard said the same thing, but from a different angle and a different perspective. Neville Goddard pretty much said, if you can master those three things, if you can master your energy, frequency, and vibration, Neville said you can prophesy your own life. Y'all ain't hearing me, bro. Y'all ain't hearing me. Y'all would much rather be on IG looking at somebody twerking than hear what I'm saying. Y'all ain't really trying to bring your heaven up on your earth. You're not really trying to wake up, and from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep is exactly how you designed it. How copy? If from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, if every single thing isn't how you designed it, how you created it to be, bro, you need to move different, man. You need to move different. Hey, any of y'all did watch The Recipe, man? And man, I'm gonna tell you this. I don't care what corner of the globe I'm on. I can be here in Bangkok. I've been in Cape Town. I've been in everywhere except Egypt. When I go to different places, man, I'll meet somebody that watched The Recipe and say, hey, man, the recipe completely changed my life. Of course, in the States. I'm getting ready to make a second recipe, man, that's going way deeper. It's going way deeper. Like, of course, The Recipe, man, I talked about really how to master yourself in the matrix. Like, you want to get the job, you want to do X, Y, Z. But in The Recipe part 2, let's just call it that for now. I'm going to talk about how to create your own matrix. It's a difference. Like it's one level to master the matrix and put yourself in position in the matrix where you want to, where you want to work, where you want to do. But it's another level of understanding to create your own matrix to where your truth governs that. I'm gonna tell you this, bro. I'm gonna tell you this. I put it on everything. When I wake up in the morning, as soon as my eyes wake up, every single thing that takes place when it's from sunup until I go back to sleep is exactly what my heaven was. It's exactly. There's nothing that takes place throughout my life where I'm just like, okay, I dread this part of life. It doesn't exist. You know, you get up on Monday morning and it's like, oh, I don't want to do this. I'd much rather be doing. I don't even feel that feeling no more. Everything is paradise. And it's paradise because I brought my paradise down to earth. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show you how to do it. The recipe part 2 coming soon.